Well, folks, it looks like the FBI is tracking parents who complain about school board members after all. A whistleblower inside the FBI handed over at least one email to members of the House Judiciary Committee that proved the FBI's counterterrorism and criminal divisions created a, quote, threat tag. The tag is EDU officials to track parents, school board members, school administrators, and teachers that they find concerning, that anyone, the school board, the teachers, find concerning, okay? The email reads this: the purpose of this tag is to help scope this threat on a national level. As Congressman Jim Jordan points out today in a letter to the U.S. Attorney General, this email directly contradicts his testimony before Congress on October 21st. The problem is, the FBI sent this email on the 20th, the day before Merrick Garland declared the FBI is not using counterterrorism resources, statutes, tools, or resources to target parents.
I do not believe that parents who testify, speak, argue with, complain about school boards and schools should be classified as domestic terrorists or any kind of criminals. Parents have been complaining about the education of their children and about school boards since there were such things as school boards and public education. This is totally protected by the First Amendment.
So why then, Mr. Attorney General, is the FBI sending out this email? This email literally states the Counterterrorism Division will be tracking these, quote, threats, aka parents, which means it sure looks like the Attorney General, General Garland, lied to Congress when he declared counterterrorism resources were not being used. I want to welcome in my panel now. Co-hosts of Chicks on the Right, Amy Jo Clark and Miriam Weaver, are here. Amy Jo, let's start with you. Your response to this email that we now had released by Jim Jordan in the GOP House Judiciary.
God, he is so slimy. Whenever I see that guy, I just look at him and I just think, what a slime ball. But okay, it's still a crime, right? Lying to Congress is still a crime. What's going to happen to him? That's what I'd like to know. I hope something happens other than just a bunch of our guys on our side of the aisle going in and just questioning him again, because I know I'm not the only one who's out here wondering, is this still a crime?
Well, lying to Congress certainly should be, but it only is a crime depending on what side of the aisle you're on. And if you're a Republican, it clearly is a crime with Nancy Pelosi in charge. Miriam, you know, the other side of this, too, is what's actually in this email. The Counterterrorism Division of the FBI making a threat tag for parents that feel that administrators feel might be threatening them?
Well, it's ridiculous, and it just shows like how absolutely warped the priorities are of this Justice Department when you consider everything else that's happening in the country right now. Merrick Garland needs to resign. I cannot believe that there's not more outcry for this, and I cannot believe the level of corruption that we're seeing in federal agencies across the board. It's actually really terrifying, and I hope people start to wake up.
Yeah, my guess is you're not going to see him resign. And my guess is you're going to see the mainstream media totally ignore this story. We will not, though, and I'll be following this one for sure. All right, I want to move on here. New York City, we got New Year's Eve coming up. I can't believe it's almost already here. But the ball drops, last I checked, outside. Still listen to Mayor Bill DeBlasio today.
We want to welcome all those hundreds of thousands of folks, but everyone needs to be vaccinated. All you need to do is have that proof of vaccination and a valid photo ID, and you are in.
I think it's great, and anybody that doesn't get vaccinated is probably not too smart.
All right, Amy Jo, the bottom line is it's outside, and even the CDC admits there's really no evidence of this virus spreading outside.
Right. But I mean, another thing with New York City is, I mean, there are basically like shootouts on the streets there right now. Crime is up like 11% since last year. And DeBlasio is concerned about like COVID cards for 6-year-olds. This guy is such an idiot. He's just, wow.
Well, he's got to be a tyrant for as long as he can hold on to power. Right? He's only got a few more weeks.
Tyrants are going to tyrant.
That's exactly right. And who's going to go into New York City anyway? All right, Miriam, I'll leave this one with you. This is Rubin on MSNBC talking about the Republican Party, and they should not be treated like normal politicians. Let's see what this means. Watch.
The Republican Party for a while now has been tacitly encouraging and rationalizing violence. I think you also have to have some new ground rules for the media. I think they have to stop treating Republicans like normal politicians. This is a party that spends its entire time cooking up these ridiculous cultural memes, fanning violence, and coming up with outright lies.
Speaking of someone who doesn't sound normal, but Miriam, I'll give you the last word on this one real quick if you can.
Well, I think we just need to stop treating Jennifer Rubin like a normal human being. She is projecting, and this is just gaslighting, which is what leftists do. And let's make no mistake about it. That is what she is.
Yeah,
bless her heart.
Exactly right, baby Joe Clark. That's what we say in Texas when we know something's fishy.
Yes,
by
sir.
the way, Amy Jo Clark, Miriam Weaver. Thanks to both of you. We will see you both again real soon. All right.